Um, so far, we have been discussing about the technical aspects of industry and Industry 4.0 in particular. But now I would like to draw your attention towards the management approaches for Industry 4.0. Since we all know that technology has been taking jumps and leads day by day, there is an advancement in cutting edge technology nowadays. And if we really want to match up with the pace of technological dives, we undoubtedly need to enhance the climate of learning and innovation. So I'm just setting the background of my presentation for today's session. If organizations really need to be smart, they need intelligent employees, they need suitable management practices in order to achieve their objectives. Therefore, management for Industry 4.0 is very much an important issue because there is a need to develop the capabilities to successfully manage your business models. There is a need to develop the capabilities for product portfolio, for accessing the potential of the market, for accessing the customers, and overall, if I would say, there is a need to enhance the value chain processes and the entire systems of the organization. We all know that industry is an integral part of any economy of any country. Since the evolution of industrialization, industry has experienced paradigm shifts due to, as I already mentioned, technological changes and innovations taking day in and out. These paradigm shifts, we all know, these are known as industrial revolutions. For example, first industrial revolution was marked by the mechanization of production process. Second industrial revolution was characterized by the high use of electrical energy in the industry. Then subsequently, the third industrial revolution, which is marked by electronics and automation. And today, we are all are appreciating the fourth industrial revolution, which is known as Industry 4.0. And this concept of Industry 4.0, which describes the increasing digitization of entire value chain and the resulting interconnection of people, interconnection of objects and system through real-time exchange. And the fourth industrial revolution is not merely an extension of the industrial revolutions which have already taken place, first, second, and third, or I would say rather it's not an extension of third industrial revolution, but it is a rather new and entirely distinct revolution. It is introducing the technologies which is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres across all the sectors. We all know that technologies like artificial intelligence and robotics, they will all drastically superseding any digital progress that has been made in past 50 or 60 years or so. And they create the realities which were previously unthinkable. These realities will disrupt and change the existing models of each and every business, and they are doing so even today as well. In this figure, basically socio-economic triggers of the Industry 4.0 are presented. There are a number of factors which are very much critical for Industry 4.0, which includes lack of skilled workforce, aging society, resource efficiency and clean urban production, customization at mass level, increasing the variability of the product, shortening product life cycle, dynamic value chain, volatile markets which are changing every day, every moment, changing needs of customers, changing expectations of customers, and the pressure of reducing the cost. All these factors undoubtedly require specialized management and skills to cope up with these challenges. Even big economies are facing these challenges, like China is facing the challenge of clean urban production due to extremely high pollution. Japan and China, they are facing the problem of aging workforce, wherein we have a competitive advantage over it. Product life cycle is also shortened due to changing trends. As I already mentioned, customers' needs and expectations are changing day by day. And now the companies need to focus on short-term innovation if they really want to survive in the market. In such a volatile environment, companies are facing increasing number of challenges to cope up with the competitors from all over the globe. They need to develop their innovative capacities, and time to market has also become short. Furthermore, the markets are becoming heterogeneous due to again, I already mentioned, I would like to draw your attention upon that changing customer expectations and needs. They want customized products on demand. So standardization is no longer viable in the business. Customization and the pressure of cost reduction is not supposed to work in parallel. When there is customization taking place, there is increasing cost is likely to happen, because customization causes additional cost. So in order to fulfill those expectations, qualification strategies for the current workforce are required. Your workforce is the asset of the company. It is the asset wherein companies want to invest nowadays, because it is their skill which will help you to gain the competitive advantage in the market. So employees need to be enabled to take more of strategic role. They need to be enabled to coordinate and create the activities. So in order to face such challenges successfully, which I already discussed, the strategic management of competencies become utmost important. It is very much essential. So here we present the development of a competency model, which shows an approach of how the companies are making use of it in order to meet the challenges which are arising out of Industry 4.0. So my presentation is structured as follows. First, the research questions, that what are the general challenges companies will have to face in Industry 4.0. Then I'll be discussing how do those challenges influence existing and future jobs. Then which core competencies must employees possess in order to fulfill the current and future job requirements. Then lastly, I'll be discussing how can the competency model help a company to maintain a well-qualified workforce. So firstly, I point out the relevance of human resource management and the competency development. When I talk about competency development, I'm talking about the development of employees' competency in order to meet those challenges, because the technological changes are taking place. So we need to enable the employees to meet those challenges successfully. So firstly, I'll be pointing out the relevance of human resource management and the competency model for a company's strategy, followed by the description of development of holistic competency model. So firstly, the main challenges in Industry 4.0 shall be discussed. Then the identification and the categorization of competencies will be done. Then we'll be highlighting the potential applicability of the developed competency model, that how the model can be used for Industry 4.0 readiness. How the employees readiness analysis can be done, whether our employees are ready to meet those challenges which are arising out of Industry 4.0, and how the qualification strategies can be derived out of it. As I mentioned, I'll be first setting the relevance of human resource management with corporate strategy. We all must be knowing that the organization's performance and its competitiveness in the market to a large extent depends upon how its employees are managed. There is a concept concerning all the activities which are related to hiring and managing people in the industry, is considered as human resource management. Since its first introduction in, I would say, 1980s, essential functions of these concepts were deployment of people, including recruitment, selection, staffing, retention, and release of employees. There is another vital function of the development of employees, which is often referred to as human resource development. Just we call it training and development as well, and nowadays we call it learning and development as well. So which focuses on all the activities concerning the professional education of the employees, learning and training of individuals and teams. This human resource development or training and development or learning and development, which are called synonymously interchangeably, this function heavily influences the development of overall organization and the industry as well. Therefore, the present and future performance of the organization also is affected by the development of its people. So, in a nutshell, we can say the development of the organization and its performance and its competitive position in the market, these all depend to a large extent, apart from other factor, on the development of the people itself. That what quality of employees are working with you, to a large extent, that influence your overall performance and the development. So the main goals of human resource development are improving individual and group effectiveness and its performance, and improving the overall effectiveness of the organization. Another important goal of training and development is to enhance the potential of humans and to enhance their personal growth. So there are three main functional areas, I would say, which have been categorized as personal development, team development, and organizational development. So what should be the management approaches for Industry 4.0 in order to match with the pace of technological leaps by enhancing the climate of learning and innovation? We'll discuss one of them. As I have just given an overview that Industry 4.0 creates many challenges, and it creates opportunities for the companies as well. And same time creating the challenges from the ongoing automation or digitization. So first of all, macro environmental challenges are being analyzed using the PESTEL framework, which considers political, economical, social, technical, environmental, and legal factors. So I'm going to discuss the economic challenges first. With an ongoing globalization process, companies have to cope up with the reduced time to market, shorter product life cycles, and there is a need to cut the cost in order to stay competitive, as I just mentioned in the previous slides. While traditional or classical business models become easily vulnerable to its substitutes, companies now need to streamline their innovation processes. They need to transform their business models to a higher level of service orientation if they really want to not only to thrive in the market, but also to strive in the market. As a result, markets have become increasingly volatile and heterogeneous. So as a result, the need for collaboration is very much existent than ever before. Companies now have to enter into strategic alliances with their suppliers or competitors, which further leads to correlation of entire value chains, and as a consequence increases the complexity of the entire process. Then there is another category of challenges, which is social challenge, which is one of the most influencing challenge in this category is the demographic change which is taking place, because less young people are entering into labor market to replace the ones who are retiring. Therefore, strategies need to be developed to attract young people while retaining the knowledge from the older employee, while leveraging from the experience of the older people. Moreover, younger generations express contradictory social values such as growing importance of good work-life balance that goes hand in hand with the growing employee flexibility due to changes in the work organizations. In addition, processes are also becoming complex, as I mentioned, which leads to an increase of jobs with the higher qualification and the loss of jobs which require lower qualifications. Because technology is a double-edged weapon, this happens with the advancement of technologies. So therefore, companies need to qualify their employees for more strategic, more coordinated and creative tasks with the high responsibilities. They should be able to assume those tasks. There is another category of challenge, which is technical challenge. As a result of an exponential growth of technologies, companies must be able to efficiently deal with the huge amount of data, which is known as big data. Therefore, extensive IT infrastructure like communication networks and other things, they need to be built up and implemented successfully. Also, to ensure the unproblematic exchange of data between the partners, between the collaborators within a network, it is also necessary to develop some standardized interfaces and architectures which enable collaborative work together on different platforms. There are additional problems of cybersecurity as well, because the data must be protected from unauthorized access. In this view, employees must acquire the skills to be prepared to increase in the virtual work environment. We can all relate to this challenge in the present economic times. Then there are environmental challenges taking place. One main challenge concerning the environment is the ongoing climate change. Conditions in the biosphere are continuously changing, which also has an impact on all the living organisms within the system. In addition, the efficient utilization of natural resources becomes more critical because they all are scarce. As a result, companies recognize their role in driving sustainable solutions, which also becomes one of the challenges. Then there are political and legal challenges taking place. The most evident political challenge is the increasing need for funding of research programs. So government need to support the organizations with the development of new technologies as well as the integration of those technologies in the existing environment. So growing work flexibility further requires the formulation and establishment of regulations for work times and safety to protect the employees. So on a further analysis of these challenges, it is possible to derive a list of essential core competencies for the employees. Developing a workforce to meet these present and future market needs undoubtedly requires the identification of required challenge competencies. That what are the competencies which the employees require, they need to be developed in order to meet these challenges discussed in the previous slides. So first I would like to define a bit of the competencies. What are the competencies? Competencies are basically defined as a set of um, knowledge, skills, abilities, attitude, and motivation which any employee needs to have in order to cope up with the job related tasks and challenges effectively. So various authors have identified four main categories of competencies which the employees require in order to take on the job related task and in order to meet the challenges successfully. They are categorized as technical competencies, which comprise of all the job related knowledge, skills, whereas the second is methodical competencies, which include all the skills and abilities for general problem solving and decision making. Irrespective of the position you are into, you need to have such competencies. Thirdly, the social competencies, which includes all the skills and abilities as well as the attitude to cooperate and communicate with others. Finally, the personal competencies include an individual's social values, motivations, and attitudes. Qualification, on the other hand, if we talk about, is basically a process of developing those required set of competencies through the proper training and education programs. Competency development and qualification, they both interact with each other as a continuous improvement cycle. So whereas competency is a set of skills, attitude, ability, knowledge, and motivation. On the other hand, qualification is the process of developing the required set of competencies. They both interact with each other. So competency development aims to identify the required competency, and subsequently it helps to reveal the critical gaps, whereas the purpose of qualification is to close those gaps. So after driving the list of essential core competencies for the employees, the list will further be strengthened by including the future work competencies. So therefore, the next step includes the visualization of identified core competencies. And therefore, the third part of this highlights the potential applicability of the developed competency model. So it is presented how the model can be used for Industry 4.0 readiness analysis of employees, and how the qualification strategies can be derived so that they can meet those challenges arising out of Industry 4.0. So these are the driving competencies from the identified challenges. This section basically shows the logical reduction of required core competencies for employees in Industry 4.0. On that account, major emerging challenges were first analyzed for their needs. Following that, the possible competencies were derived, which are presented for each challenge in this particular slide. So you can see on the left side, there are challenges, and on the right side of the table, there are competencies which are required to meet the particular challenge. So it is essential to cluster the identified competencies into predefined groups to basically ensure the further clarity and transparency of the model. So you can see that, for example, there are economic challenges taking place, which is ongoing globalization. So therefore, the intellectual skills, intercultural skills, language skills, time flexibility, networking skills, process understanding. These are all the skills, all the competencies which are required to meet the economic challenges. For example, there is an increasing need of innovation due to the economic challenges, and therefore there is a need for entrepreneurial thinking in the employees, because nowadays employees are treated as business partners. They are not treated as employees. So they need to have entrepreneurial thinking. They must assume the organization as their own. They need to have creativity, problem solving. They need to have the skills so that they can work under pressure. They need to have the state of art knowledge, technical skills, research skills, and the understanding of the process. Then, for example, if we take the technical challenges taking place, there is an exponential growth of technology and data usage. So in order to meet those challenges, employees must possess technical skills, analytical skills. They must have efficiency in the working with data, coding skills, understanding IT security and compliance. So these are the list of competencies respective or corresponding to the various challenges which we have already discussed in previous slides. This table basically clusters the competencies into 4 identified main categories of competencies, because in previous slide you must have noticed there is a replication of the competencies. For example, process understanding is required for meeting with the ongoing globalization, and the process understanding is also required for increasing need of innovation. So there is a duplication, whereas this slide clusters the competencies into 4 identified main categories and require and eliminates the duplication as well. So after having all the required competencies identified, aggregated and categorized, the competency model solely need to be visualized. Therefore, the final step will further increase the transparency to understand the competency requirements, and it will also help the user to detect the gap. Where is the gap? Where the employees actually stand and what is the required level where they need to be reaching. So the visualization is basically on the basis is based upon the concept of radar chart, which are used to display multivariate data in two-dimensional chart. So due to those characteristics, they are commonly used for gap analysis, and therefore this is a convenient tool to visualize a competency model. In order to realize these gaps, radar charts need to comprise the following components, which are required competency. There is a requirement of a scale and a required scale value for each competency. You need to be identifying the competency, then a scale value for each competency. And in addition to those components, the actual measured value will also be illustrated in the chart, which further allows the measurement of gap between required and measured competency levels. The establishment of the required competency levels is varying for each job role, and therefore they need to be performed when model is actually in use. One chart got created from every competence category. Those single charts further got combined into one aggregated chart. And this style of visualization enables the viewers or the user of this tool to recognize the general gaps at the competency category level and further allows an analysis at the individual competency level. So the scale of the chart which measures the competency category works on the basis of percentage. By comparing the sum of measured competency level value for a category to the sum of highest possible values, the percentage value gives an average of how qualified an employee is in an entire competency category. For example, the competencies are clustered around their categories. We have identified 4 categories in the previous slides: technical, methodological, social, and personal. These all the competencies have been duplication has been eliminated, and all the competencies have been categorized into 4 categories. So these competencies are clustered around their categories, and the light red or pink area symbolizes the minimum required level of competency for each competence. And the green area indicates the actual competency level the employee has. Green area shows the existing level, that where does the employee stand, and the pink area symbolizes the minimum required level of each competency. So if the this area is visible at any point, that would reveal a competency gap which is required to be closed with the help of suitable qualification strategies. As we already mentioned, that competency is a set of skills, knowledge, ability and motivation which the person needs to possess in order to meet the challenges, whereas the qualification is a process of developing those competencies. So the purpose is to identify where the employee stands, what is the existing level of a competency, and what is the required level of competency, and where is the gap, and that gap has to be fulfilled with the suitable qualification strategies, because we'll be able to introduce or introduce the interventions only when we know where the gap exists. So the purpose of depicting this chart was to illustrate that how the developed competency model can be used in practice using the model for an employee readiness analysis. So generally the developed model enables the companies to conduct a competency gap analysis, as I already mentioned, for the required competencies in the given scenario. This tool is designed to assess individual employees, their competency level, and therefore this is designed to introduce the suitable interventions. Further, it needs to consider that the assessment of employees should be conducted by an experienced person, because when such assessments take place or such evaluation takes place in the organization, there are chances of biasness. So that should be done by some expert who has an hands of experience for conducting such evaluations or assessments, so that the biasness can be minimized and we can obtain consistent results which are applicable and which are same irrespective of the job levels. So firstly, the model's competencies need to be weighted accordingly to the department or to the job profile of the employee, which are being assessed, which are under assessment, because the competency requirement for each employee working on different job profile or working on different departments vary. At some position, technical skills may be weighted more, and some other position, social skills requirement of social skills may be relatively higher. That depends upon the profile the person is working upon. So the required scale value for each individual competency needs to be adjusted according, depending upon the profile, depending upon the weightage of each competency on this particular job profile. So therefore, an expert should make use of standardized competency assessment through survey or monitoring activities. Results further need to be compiled and transferred into model. So having all these requirements defined and all the competencies of an employee is evaluated, the model will reveal the gaps in the competencies. So what companies need to do is they need to bridge the gap by introducing appropriate qualification strategies. So those assessment or evaluations which will identify the level of competency an employee has, this will show the readiness of employee for his job in the emerging scenario in industry 4.0, or for example any other change which is taking place in the world of business. So there is also a possibility to define the most critical gap at the first side. There are those are the competencies human resource development or human resource management department needs to focus upon. For example, it was shown in the visualization of the competency model in that figure. The social competencies were not fully developed. You can have a look upon the chart. At the bottom of the chart, social competencies are shown. So we can see there is a more pink area as compared to other competencies, technical, methodological, or personal. The social competency has a more area which is, on the red side or the pink side, you can say. So that means they are not sufficiently developed. So analyzing the individual competency of that category, it is quite obvious that almost none of the competencies reach the required level. And the aggregated chart shows the leadership and language skills are being the least developed. Within these social competencies, if you have a look upon leadership and language skills, the area is relatively more on the red side as compared to the networking, communication, or the ability to transfer the knowledge. As compared to these, leadership and language skills are being the least developed competencies, and they demand the need for action from the organization side. Individual himself or herself can also take action to improve those competencies, and there are interventions which are required to be introduced from the human resource management or development or the organization point of view. So we need to define the tailored. When I say tailored, there is a time of customization. Whenever we are talking about the customer also requires customization, and the employees also require customization, because each individual has its different needs. Each individual is at different stage of its career, different stage of its needs. So these require tailored qualification strategies which are suiting to different people. So if we want to fill the previously identified gaps, qualification strategies need to be developed, and the focus should first be on the largest competency gaps, I would say, since they determine the largest weak spots of an employee to cope up with the challenges of Industry 4.0. So generally, or qualification strategies comprise different methods and techniques, such as trainings, education, so that we can build up the specific competencies which are required to be developed. So therefore, the company must define actions in advance of using that model that will be triggered once an employee does not reach the required scale level of a competence. So following this reasoning, the competency model could immediately present suitable training for an employee. So in the first part of this contribution, a comprehensive list of essential competency for the work in a digitized and interconnected world was compiled. So even though every job has different requirements, the identified competencies which we have just discussed or shown in the diagrams, they are becoming progressively important. And this is quite a pragmatic approach, and they need to be addressed by human resource development. So in addition, all the identified competencies got visualized in the aggregate chart, which helps the user or the company or the human resource manager or the manager in general, because they also need to be managing their teams. So this helps the user to easily understand the imposed requirement on industry individual competencies. So the second part briefly discussed general application strategy for the competency model. It was shown that how the model can be used to assess and develop employees' competencies to overcome the future challenges. So it is very much clear that in the time of Industry 4.0, organizations will face many economical, social, technological challenges which require dynamic capabilities and innovative workforce, because it is the workforce which makes you stand apart from the other competitors. Every organization has financial resource, every organization has access to natural resource, and most of the organization may have access to technology as well, but it is the people of the company which set you apart from the competitors. That why Apple is Apple, why not Samsung? Because it is the people, it is the innovativeness of the people of the company which makes you stand apart from your competitors in the market. So it is extremely important to discuss that how the organization can enhance their capabilities by time and again, which leads to innovation, because capability enhancement will lead to innovation. If your people are having, they are capable of, they are having or acquired skills, they will lead to the innovative products and services, and they will match the requirements of Industry 4.0. So I present management or HR practices to make the organization compatible with Industry 4.0 by developing a climate of learning and innovation, which can ultimately enhance the organizational capabilities. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.